These new Fords are beautiful, and they're built to the highest standards of quality and finish. As they make their way to their destination, these vehicles are fighting the opening battle in a war against dust, dirt, rail dust, sunlight, and pollution. It's important to remember that these new vehicles are freshly painted. During new car delivery, Ford Motor Company protects many, but not all, of its vehicles with a special temporary transit coating. If a vehicle has been transit coated, it's recommended that the coating remain on the vehicle while it's in storage. But the special transit coating must be removed within 6 months of the vehicle build date. Removal should take place indoors, not in direct sunlight, to prevent the removal solution from drying out during the process. All newly delivered vehicles without transit coating should be thoroughly washed, either automatically or by hand. The surface of all vehicles should be examined carefully for any signs of unsightly spots, scratches, or imperfections in the paint, no matter how slight. This is the time to identify and repair them. If paint concerns are discovered, 3 important questions must be answered in order to choose the proper method of repair. What type of finish is it? How thick is the paint in the area of the imperfection? How deep does the imperfection penetrate the paint film? The first question is, what type of finish is it? Here are the paint systems currently used on Ford vehicles. After the vehicle has been electrocoated, paint is applied using either a 1, 2, or 3-stage process. In the 1-stage system, paint is applied using enough coats to provide a durable finish. In the 2-stage system, a base color coat is applied, then a clear coat applied to protect and enhance the gloss level of the base color coat. The 3-stage system is known as a pearlescent finish. This system consists of a base color coat followed by a pearlescent coat and finally a clear coat. The pearlescent layer produces a sensation of color change. Before making any cosmetic repairs, it is important to know what the paint thickness is in the area of the imperfection. To determine this, you have to know what paint system was used. The vehicle identification plate on the driver's door will give you the paint code. Using this code, your paint jobber can tell you which Ford paint system was used, or you can refer to the TSB index or the Ford Service Labor Time Standards Manual. You can also use the paint code conversion chart supplied with your reference book to determine the system. Once you know the paint system, you can use a thickness gauge to determine the film thickness you have to work with. You must be extra careful during the cosmetic paint repair process not to remove more than 3/10 of a mil of top coat. The total specified thickness for the 1-stage system on Ford passenger cars is 3.6 mils. Of this, 2.0 mils is the thickness of the color coat. You want to remove as little of this color coat as possible during a cosmetic repair. The specified thickness for the 1-stage system on Ford trucks is 3.1 mils. Of this, 2.0 mils is the thickness of the color coat. Just as with the passenger car 1-stage system, you want to remove as little of this color coat as possible during a cosmetic repair. The specified thickness for the 2-stage system on Ford passenger cars and some light trucks is 4.2 mils. Of this, approximately 2.0 mils is the thickness of the clear coat. You want to remove as little of this clear coat as possible during a cosmetic repair. The specified thickness for the 3-stage pearlescent system on Lincoln passenger cars is 5 to 6 mils. Of this, approximately 2.0 mils is clear coat. Once again, you want to remove as little of this clear coat as possible during a cosmetic repair. Before and after the repair, check the film thickness and compare it to the specifications. After the repair, check it again. We can't say it often enough. Try to remove as little of the original finish as possible. The recommended surface care technology we are about to demonstrate will significantly help you avoid damaging the surface during cosmetic repairs. The third important question is, how deep does the imperfection penetrate the paint film? Repainting will be required if the damage is severe. Severe means there is penetration through a 1-stage color coat and primer is exposed, or there is penetration through the clear coat on 2- and 3-stage paint jobs. If the imperfection is slight, as in the case of this scratch, the Ford recommended paint repair system may quickly return the affected area to its original appearance. This system also removes many types of environmental damage. It will even work in some cases where there is dirt in the paint itself. Try the new cosmetic repair system on any imperfections or scratches before you resort to repainting. Before we begin the repair using this system, let's take a moment to review the 4 basic rules that apply to all cosmetic paint repairs. Always use the least abrasive material first. Using the least abrasive material takes longer, but it will prevent you from going too far and having to repaint in the end. For example, the 3M polishing glaze is less abrasive than the 3M rubbing compound. That's why we would use a polishing glaze first. Avoid buffing directly on character lines. If the area you are working on is near a character line, you must be very careful not to accidentally buff the paint off these high spots. Don't buff directly on a character line. Buff the area above and below the line. Let the edge of the pad float over the character line. Don't apply pressure. Sanding is a last resort. Sanding is a very aggressive step. Use it only if you can't remove the imperfection using the polishing compounds. Blend the cosmetic repair into the surrounding area. Because the Ford recommended cosmetic paint repair materials are so effective, the repair area may appear smoother than the surrounding paint. This happens because the slight amount of surface unevenness or orange peel that may be present gets smoothed out during a cosmetic repair. To limit this effect, buff with the rubbing compound out beyond the repair area using lighter and lighter pressure. This will blend the repair area into the surrounding paint. The first step in any cosmetic repair is to wash the vehicle thoroughly. Ford Premium Car Wash is safe for all finishes. It quickly removes dust, dirt, and organic residue. Cleaning with a wax and grease remover is needed next to remove oil and grease-based contaminants, including silicones and waxes not removed by soap and water. For a wide range of surface damage, this 3M Perfect-It 2 rubbing compound will do an excellent job. Used with a 3M Hooked SBS Plus compounding pad, it will remove everything from light damage, such as these water spots, to more severe damage, such as these scratches. 3M Perfect-It 2 rubbing compound represents the latest in polishing technology. It's a one-step compound that will save you time and money. This compound is also recommended for removal of severe oxidation on pre-owned cars and trucks. 3M Perfect-It Foam Pad Polishing Glaze is a fine-cut abrasive glaze. It removes swirl marks, light scratches, scuffs, and other slight imperfections from any paint finish. It should be used after any cosmetic repair procedure. This glaze is available in light or dark for easy cleanup on light and dark vehicles. These recommended cosmetic paint repair products are a surface care technology designed to service the paint systems of the 90s and beyond. When surface imperfections are minor, these materials will allow you to correct the condition quickly and effectively without having to repaint. The result will be a finish that will satisfy your customers' expectations. We're going to put these products to work on minor imperfections that spoil the appearance of the finish and could easily disappoint a customer. Here are the tools you will need for these repairs. Buffing and polishing machines will produce superior results and speed up the job. Use a good quality wool pad for application of 3M Perfect-It 2 rubbing compound and a foam pad for the application of 3M Foam Pad Polishing Glaze. You can also use these materials to buff and polish by hand. Hand application is a good idea for very slight imperfections or imperfections close to a molding or character line. A character line is a place where the surface makes a sharp bend. Machine application will be both faster and more effective for large surfaces. Sandpaper should be used only when the cutting compounds cannot remove the imperfection. When wet sanding, the use of a backing pad will aid in applying light, even pressure. This will result in improved leveling. Use a sponge to supply water to the repair area. Remove the sanding residue with a squeegee and inspect the surface for any remaining scratches or imperfections. A lighted magnifying glass will let you examine the scratch or imperfection up close to determine how to approach the repair. Check that the imperfection is completely removed when you think the job is done. Remember to use a thickness gauge before, during, and after the repair to assess the thickness of the paint in the repair area. Use only soft, clean towels. 100% cotton terry cloth is best. They're soft, absorbent, and don't leave lint. A good quality disposable prep wipe will also work. Now we are ready to tackle our first cosmetic paint repair, iron oxide fallout, or rail dust. Iron particles are often present in the air near railroad tracks. The movement of train wheels over the tracks may produce small, hot, airborne iron particles that can damage the paint surfaces of vehicles in transit or vehicles in storage at dealerships close to tracks. You may find these iron particles on any color vehicle by running your fingers lightly over the surface. The particles will feel rough to the touch and will resist removal. On light-colored vehicles like this one, tiny dots of orange rust may start to appear. Never repaint over iron particles. Use all removal procedures before attempting refinishing. First, thoroughly wash and rinse the vehicle. If iron particles remain on the surface after washing, the next step is to put the finish care system to work. Begin the process by rinsing the car off with cold water. This removes dust and assures a cool surface. Rinse the vehicle starting at the bottom and work up. With the vehicle rinsed, prepare the solution by mixing 1 part of 1119 and 4 parts cold water. Then, apply it to the vehicle. This procedure must be performed with a clean wash mitt and it should be applied to the entire car. During the application, work from the bottom surface to the top surface. The application period should be 5 to 10 minutes. During this period, the solution should not be allowed to dry, nor should it be allowed to streak down the sides. Continue to apply the solution as necessary to avoid surface drying and streaks. After the application period of 5 to 10 minutes, rinse the car with cold water. Then dry the horizontal surfaces of the paint, specifically the hood, roof, and deck lid. Apply Finish Care 883 directly to these surfaces. This product is used directly from the container without mixing. The application should be performed with a clean, dry sponge, wash mitt, or truck brush. All areas should be kept wet with 883 for 5 to 7 minutes. Use a body line on the side of the car as a point to wipe down to. After the 5 to 7 minute application period, the vehicle is shampooed with Finish Care 118 SC shampoo. This particular product should be mixed 1 ounce to 1 gallon of cold water. Also, when shampooing the car, make sure a clean wash mitt is used, not the mitt that was coated with Finish Care 1119. After shampooing the vehicle, rinse it with cold water. The vehicle can then be inspected to see if the rust particles have been removed. If there are still problems with the paint surface, the procedure should be performed again. Because removal systems like Finish Care dissolve the iron particles, little pits are left behind. We will correct these imperfections by first sanding with 2000 grit paper, followed by light compounding and removal of swirl marks. When sanding is completed, apply a small amount of rubbing compound to the area and buff, keeping the pad level. Don't apply excessive pressure. Let the compound pad and weight of the polisher do the work at a maximum speed of 1750 RPMs. When all the pits and any remaining iron particles have been removed by buffing, wipe the surface clean with a soft cloth. Apply the polishing glaze and buff out any remaining swirl marks. Here's an important tip. Use a different clean pad or cloth for each step in the process. Using the same pad with different repair materials can lead to severe paint damage. Our next repair is to correct imperfections caused by industrial and organic fallout. Vehicles that have been left out in the open for a long period of time without frequent washing will often show chemical spotting, staining, and etching. Spots show up first. If these spots are not treated promptly, etching or paint staining is likely to occur. Eventually, this etching and staining will penetrate to the primer. Some of these imperfections are the result of dry particles that have fallen on a vehicle's horizontal surfaces. When these particles combine with moisture in the air or moisture left on the vehicle after washing, corrosive chemicals may be formed. The source of the water that activates the dry particles may be rain, early morning dew, or water from a lawn sprinkling system. If a vehicle is washed but not thoroughly dried, the water left standing may join with dry particles to start the etching process. Heat speeds up the formation of damaging chemicals. If the chemical that is formed is alkaline, the damage you will see is what is often called water spotting. If the chemical formed is acidic, in a few hours etching could show all over the vehicle, especially on horizontal surfaces. Dry particles aren't the only cause of paint imperfections. Organic materials such as pollen, tree sap, bird droppings, or insects that are smashed on the painted surface can result in imperfections. Strong acids are present in these substances. Frequent washing is highly desirable during the bug season. Don't let dead bugs, tree sap, and bird droppings stay on the surface any longer than necessary. No matter how the chemical is formed, or whether it is alkaline or acidic, the damage can be repaired with sanding, buffing, and polishing if it is caught early. Refinishing is necessary if the damage penetrates through the color coat on a single-stage system or through the clear coat on a two-stage or tri-coat system. The paint system on the vehicle we have chosen for this demonstration is two-stage base coat, clear coat. The damage is an area of etched and paint-stained spots. The first step is to wash, dry, and solvent clean the car thoroughly. Then, check the paint thickness so you know what you have to work with. Apply a small amount of polishing glaze. Remember, always start with the least aggressive materials first. Buff, keeping the foam pad level. Don't apply excessive pressure. Let the cleaner do the work. If the spots still remain, use rubbing compound. After applying rubbing compound, follow it with polishing glaze to remove swirl marks. Recheck the film thickness to determine that you haven't removed more than 3/10 of a mil. This next repair involves removing a scratch that has not penetrated through the clear coat on this two-stage paint job. After checking the paint film thickness, we tried polishing glaze and rubbing compound, but they didn't remove the imperfection. So the next step is to use a very fine 3M microfine 2000 wet sandpaper. When wet sanding, it's important to always use backing pad. Now, apply light pressure and sand back and forth in one direction only. Keep the surface wet by squeezing the sponge as you sand. Remove water and residue with a squeegee to check your progress in removing the scratch. When the scratch is no longer visible, dry the surface. Follow the sanding with an application of rubbing compound, followed by an application of polishing glaze. Remember to blend the repair area into the surrounding paint. Check the film thickness again to determine that you haven't removed more than 3/10 of a mil. Runs and sags really spoil a paint job. If they are in the base coat or pearl coat, repainting is required. If they are only in the clear coat, the Rotunda Run File Kit can be used. In addition to runs and sags, this kit can be used to remove dirt in the paint. The files provided in the kit are graduated from very fine to coarse. The tools should be grasped firmly and the sag removed by gentle shaving the surface using several light strokes. It is often necessary to sand the area following shaving to achieve uniformity and smoothness of the coated surface. If the sag is not severe, try wet sanding with 2000 grit paper on a backing pad. After removing the residue, buff with rubbing compound, followed by the polishing glaze. This new surface care technology is also highly effective on pre-owned vehicles. You can remove oxidized paint at very low cost and improve the appearance dramatically. Every cosmetic repair should start with a thorough cleaning with Ford Premium Car Wash, followed with a wax and grease remover to remove old silicones and waxes. Check the film thickness before you start. 3M rubbing compound will remove oxidation and minor scratches without damaging the paint surface. Remove the last traces of cosmetic repair with polishing glaze. Remember, it can be effective by itself on very minor imperfections. Considering the time and effort required to repair environmental damage, an ounce or more prevention can really pay off. Washing vehicles regularly and drying them thoroughly greatly minimizes the effects of environmental damage. During hot weather, vehicles should be washed more often to ensure that they are as free as possible of potentially damaging fallout. Thorough washing requires rubbing as well as spraying. Spray washing without rubbing won't totally remove all deposits on the surface of the vehicle. Don't let airborne substances spoil the appearances of those great new Ford and Lincoln Mercury vehicles. If imperfections are discovered, don't wait. Correct them quickly and easily with Ford's recommended surface care technology. When necessary, use sandpaper, rubbing compound, and polishing glaze to remove these imperfections. A final note, always apply a wax after making a cosmetic repair to preserve and protect the finish. The use of Ford's surface care technology will keep those beautiful new cars and trucks looking great.